This week we're focusing on self-development. We're going to talk about the negative Nancy's, the haters, the non-believers, and the people who just don't support you. This is going to be a good one, but let's get into it. Welcome back. This is week 4 of the Tab Talk Thursdays, and we're going to go straight into it. We're going to be talking about self-development. We're going to take a little break from the relationship advice stuff. We're going to get right into this one. So someone emailed me, and they had a great question, so I want to actually get right into it. I'm going to go straight to the question. One of the things as I'm pulling this up that you should know is that I definitely want to talk more and more about 3 different things. We're going to talk about relationships, we're going to talk about self-development, and parenting. So whenever you guys are emailing me questions, those are the 3 things that we'll be talking about on this page. Email those. So here's the question. Well, I guess it starts off with a little story. So today during a meeting, I was faced with several individuals from another department who questioned my role as well as my team's role in contributing to the company's best interests. I feel I did a good job at addressing their concerns while also keeping a cool head. Later in the day, I realized I could use my frustration of the incident as a way to motivate me to continue to do great work and hold my team to the same standards. My question is, what role does non-believers, non-supporters, negative Nancy's, and the haters play in determining one's success? And what's your advice in dealing with these types of people? Okay, so this is a great question. And first and foremost, I want to actually address the fact that when you were approached with this type of situation, you became frustrated. Now, some people are going to see that as a bad thing, but personally, I see it as a great thing. You take pride in your work. That's amazing. So continue to do that. And although going forward, you could do things differently maybe, or not get frustrated, and maybe after seeing that you could get motivated by these people, you'll change your approach next time. But I want to point that out, and that's really good. So kudos to you for that. To address the first part of the question, as far as what role do they play, they play a huge role. Negative Nancy's, the non-believers, the non-supporters, the haters, they play a huge role in the success that someone achieves. It all depends on how you look at it. And to me, it's something that you should really take the time to nurture it and really analyze what role that they play in your success and the role that they're going to play in your future success as well. Now, the first role that they play is it's going to kind of, some of the stuff that I'm going to share is actually going to be looked at funny, or some people are going to say this is kind of crazy, or a lot of people say ignore the haters. But one of the essential parts that they allow you to see, haters, or whatever you want to call it, negative people, let's call it negative people to sum all of them up into one thing. Negative people, the role that they play is allowing you to see yourself in a different light. If you take the information in and you kind of analyze it, you do a little bit of self-assessment by using the information that they're giving you, it could be looked at as a form of constructive criticism. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. It may not be delivered in that form, and it may upset you, because our natural human response to things like that, when we're being put in a questionable position or questioning who we are, our work ethic, our judgment, things like that, is to be on the defense. We want to go into fight mode and kind of defend who we are, what it is that's being questioned. But if we take a step back from that for a second, we actually just analyze the information, this gives us an opportunity to really see how people perceive us and make some adjustments. If the information is valid, you always have to take it from that perspective that, is this person really have my best interests at heart, or is it just about them? But either way, you could take the information in, analyze it, and then go from there. Secondly, the role that they play is a huge part of the motivation side of it, using them as kind of like a catalyst to say, well, you know what, down the road, I could turn around and say to you, I did it. I proved you wrong. Remember when I told you I said I was going to do it? Boom, there you go, I did it. I love to be able to use when somebody's telling me no, you can't do something, and then I turn around and do it, to just turn around and just look at them like, I told you, I got it, I did it, whatever it is. So use these people, the negative people that you have in your life, the ones that matter, as a way to continue and push forward and use them as motivation, which is something that you did. To the person who asked the question, it's something that you did and you used it as motivation, which is my applause to you for that. But not everybody does that, and sometimes we use it and we dwell on it and we make it much bigger than it really is, and it really doesn't have to be that way. We could use it as motivation. So that's the second part that they play, motivation. So the next thing is the third thing, but it's not really the role that they play, but it's something to consider. If you don't have the haters, the negative Nancy's, you don't have people kind of giving you that constructive criticism, chances are you're doing something wrong. There's a big part of being successful that comes along with those types of people. So if you don't have them, you're doing something wrong. One, you're not intimidating. The work that you're doing is not intimidating anybody. If you don't have those types of people, you're not intimidating people. You're not intimidating your competition. You're not intimidating the people that you're working around enough to be like, what's going on with this person, and to question you. The second thing is you're not inspiring anybody. Typically when you inspire somebody, it makes them question things about themselves, which really reflect how they question things about you, and that's a very important thing to keep in mind as well. If they're questioning you, they're probably questioning something about themselves, but that's good. That's a good thing. You're inspiring somebody. So if you don't have them, that means your work isn't inspiring enough. And the third thing is, it's pretty simple. You're just not on anybody's radar. Nobody's paying attention to the work that you're doing. So if you don't have constructive criticism coming in, haters, negative Nancy's, whatever it is, if you don't have that coming in, you're just not, nobody's paying attention. If you do have haters, that means you're intimidating people. That means you're inspiring people, and that means people are paying attention. Look at it as a positive. You got to be able to turn it around. Now, the second part of the original message, that second part was, what is my advice of dealing with these types of people? For me, it starts off with what I've already mentioned a little bit, but as far as motivation goes, I think the best thing is to take the information and analyze it, and then use it as motivation to move forward. So as far as moving forward with the information, you really have to analyze how much weight does this person, in considering where it's coming from, consider the source. How much weight does this person have in my life and play in the role of my success? If this is somebody that you see, once a month, and they bump into you and they're like, hey, checked out your most recent work, blah, 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 whatever it is. They give you that information. This is somebody that's not really initially being a major role. So you kind of could just brush that off. But if this is somebody like your spouse, your mother, your father, maybe your children, whatever, somebody that you work with, your partner, a coworker, this is somebody that you have to work with on a daily basis, see the work that you're putting in may actually affect their life, you may want to consider it. I'm not saying it's the most important feedback, but it's something that you may need to consider. So take the time to analyze where it's coming from, how much weight they have, and then use that as motivation, or dismiss it completely. And that's the way you move forward with it. Now you're moving forward, but one of the most important things to do is when you're taking in this information is not to let it consume you. So many people want to focus on, and I see it every day on Facebook, F the haters, this, or so-and-so said this about me, and you're allowing it to consume you. You're posting about it, you're sharing the story over and over and over. Everybody you run into, you're telling them about this negative person. And if you don't realize it, it's actually consuming you so much that you are now becoming the negative person. You are becoming that person by sharing the story over and over. You got to take it in, digest the information, and then brush it off. Move forward, get past it. Do not allow it to consume you. You got to get past this. Move forward. All right, so the final part for this, or at least the third part, there might be another one. I gotta still figure out if I want to share the last one. It's probably gonna be the most cliche thing I ever say, but kill them with kindness. So to the negative people, they're negative for a reason. You have to be that positive light in their life. So kill them with kindness. It's gonna get to a point where they're not even gonna be able to be negative around you, and they'll just move on. Like, you know what? Everything that I'm hitting this guy with, or this girl with, it's not even affecting them. I'm gonna just take this somewhere else. I'm gonna just move on. This person, I can't change them. They're always positive. They're always giving me these kind words, and at some point they're gonna just be like, you know what, peace, I'm out, and they're just gonna give up on it. So Again, I know it's cliche, but kill them with kindness. And that's one of the ways that I personally handle those types of situations currently in my life. I kill them with kindness and move on, and eventually they weed themselves out of my life. So yeah, there was one more thing. And I think this is the most important one. That's why I was kind of tossed up whether I do a last one or, but it's kind of goes in and ties everything together. You have to eliminate the threats. Initially, I said you have to accept the information, kind of figure out where it's coming from and all of that. But sometimes, and I touched on already that there's family members or friends or close coworkers and things like that may be that person that's that negative person in your life. But you need to eliminate the major threats. You have to realize that some people are just never going to change. They're never going to accept the new you. They're never going to accept the great work that you're doing. For some reason, no matter how close they are, they just won't accept it. And those are the major threats. Those are the ones that could eventually get inside your head, and they're eventually going to make you start to question your work ethic, how valuable you are, and those types of things. So you got to eliminate those major threats. When you're doing your analysis and you're taking inventory of those people in your life, once you realize that it's somebody who plays a major role and the information that they're sharing with you is consistently negative, eliminate them. Get rid of them. Get them out of your life. It's not going to help you get any closer to success. There's a turning point when constructive criticism just becomes negative and it's just trash and it's nothing but trying to pull you down. There's some people that just don't want to see you succeed. You have to accept that. That's part of the process. Part of the process is accepting these things. In the think, act, and believe process, the most important part of it is the believing in yourself. So in this case, you have to also believe in yourself and make that decision that, you know what, this person isn't for me anymore. The information that they're sharing with me, the feedback that they're giving me is not really constructive anymore. It's just negative, and I gotta eliminate them. Eliminate those threats. That's a major threat in your life, and you need to get rid of it. Waste no time, analyze it, be done with it, move on. I hope you guys liked what you saw today. Don't forget to like, share, comment. Please email me any questions you have. Most importantly, subscribe. My email address, let me give you the email address, is jr@thinkactbelieve.com. You could also follow us on Instagram and also on Facebook at The Tap Movement. That's us. I want to leave you off with one last thing. I'm not sure if you guys noticed it, so if you can see it all in the video now, but a negative thinker sees a difficulty in every opportunity. A positive thinker sees an opportunity in every difficulty. Hope to see you guys back next week. Peace. Yeah, you know they couldn't work on Labor Day.